Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode. All right, so if you don't already know, reading books or poems or anything on self growth, personal development is my go to. Those are always the books that I tend to gravitate towards. I just like to find new books that help me grow as a person, and I can kind of see and learn new ideas from other people. I always scroll through TikTok way too much, more than I should, but I have become victim of book talk, and that is where I find so many recommendations for these books that I like to read. And the book that I wanted to talk about this week is called Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest. And it's a year-long guide of becoming the person you've always dreamed of. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm in my second semester of my junior year of college. So I'm getting close to my last year. I'll graduate in December of next year. And the other day, I got an email from my academic advisor, and the subject line said graduation plan. And I think I nearly threw my phone. Because it's not like I didn't already know that, like, my graduation is going to be, like, coming up. But, like, seeing it was totally different. Because from the day you announce that you're going to college, people always ask the same question. Oh, what do you want to do after you graduate? And I feel like every time I just let out this big sigh, and I'm just like, well, I'm like, ask me in 4 years when I'm graduating. And I just feel like I never know like what to say. So the quote from the book Pivot Year that I really loved says, everything that is meant for you is still waiting for you. Even if you have failed in the past, even if you feel so stuck, you cannot imagine making it through one more day. Even if you messed up every shot you were given, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're afraid, if you aren't sure how things will work out, and even if nobody else would understand, you still contain within you the potential of all you ever wanted to be. It is never too late. As a freshman in college, you have no idea what you want to do in 4 years from now. And most people were already probably considering changing their major on their first day of college classes. And then sophomore year rolls around and you're just like slightly more settled into college, and you're like, okay, well, maybe this major is good for me, and you kind of start thinking like, oh, maybe what could I get into as a career path after college? And then junior year rolls around and like you just panic and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have to figure this out right now. I need to get an internship. I need to start looking at what I'm going to do. And you feel like it's a race. You're like, it's a race against time. And you start panicking because you think that you're falling behind and you have no idea what you're doing. And the beauty of this whole process is you have the ability to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to steer off the path that 17, 18-year-old you made for yourself. You can't expect yourself as a teenager, or even in your early 20s, to have your set path figured out for college. And I found some statistics done by Stephen Campbell about the percentage rates of college graduates who even like use their degree after they graduate, and people who wish they would have gone into something different. So it says only 27.3% of college graduates work in the field of their degree. 62.1% of college graduates don't work in their major field. 62.1%. That is a lot. Also, it says 38% of people with a bachelor's degree say they would have chosen a different major, which 30% is honestly like really high. So if 38% of people said they would have changed your major and you're thinking about changing your major, but you don't want to fall behind because it'll add another semester of school, just do it. Just change it, because in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to decide that you don't love what you do, and you wish that when you were in college, you would have just had the courage to change your major to something you were slightly interested in. So I'm majoring in sports business, and I am getting my minor in digital audiences. I went into college as a sports business major, and I honestly contemplated like changing my major. Some of these classes were like really hard, but my digital audience minor is something I discovered that like I wanted to do after my freshman year. I didn't even like know it was a thing. And then after I found out what all the digital audience minor contain, I realized that it was like something I was super interested in. And even if it was something I wasn't like 100% about, I still added on a minor and took the first 2 courses to get the ball rolling, and then decided that I really do enjoy it and I think it would be a really good minor for me. So there are so many different majors and minors and certificates out there. So you just have to do your research. Even when you get to college and you're just a business major, your education major, psychology, there are probably so many other fields that you don't even know is out there unless you take the time to look. You have the courage to branch out and try something new. We get so caught up in the idea that we have to have it all figured out when we get to college, but it's unrealistic to not expect anything to change. You're going to change a little bit while you're in college, and whether it's just you as a person changing or it's all of your interests that change, it's okay. There's no so-called perfect plan for college, and everyone's path is going to look different. Just because yours doesn't look the same as your roommate, that is totally fine. And I think after spending a weekend back here in Tempe, at my house here in Tempe, because if you guys can't notice, this background is a little different than the previous 2 episodes. I am at my house in Tempe right now, and I think after being here for a weekend, that deciding to do a semester of school in LA was a good decision for me, and it showed me how fast life can change. Going to LA for a semester was a very last minute and quick decision that happened literally like 4, maybe 3 weeks before the semester started. It's when I knew I was gonna be leaving Tempe for a semester. And honestly, my college experience has been a whirlwind. And this journey isn't linear. No journey is. But being able to adapt to any changes that could happen at any given moment, whether you expect it or it's unexpected, I think that will benefit your success and your happiness the most. If you're scared of change, just do it. Just go for it, because in the end, you might end up being way happier, whether it's a week from now, a month from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. You probably will end up just that much more happier. This is your reminder to not be hard on yourself. If you're feeling like you're falling behind, you're not. You're right where you need to be. So remember that every single day. You are right where you need to be. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope you guys kind of have a new perspective on college if you're in college. And I will chat with you guys next week.